Thank you very much, Madam President. Well, I can say, Prime Minister, that it was very embarrassing. It was very embarrassing to hear you try to explain things, but there's one thing that you are right about. European citizens and European policy and European Parliament are not interested in the Hungarian presidency's programme because they don't take it serious. We've heard so many cliches and so many lies that now we know what you're like. We've learned what you are like from recent years. But it is my duty sometimes to listen to Orban speeches. It's not always easy. And I've seen over the past few years that you've consistently moved away from the truth. You face these kind of false opponents, but the biggest problem is this is a problem for Hungary. And now you deal with these imagined opponents, but then in these Orban speeches there is one thing that is always missing, and that is people, everyday people and their problems. Because quite simply, you don't care about that. But it's these... Because a country depends on the everyday lives of its people. But you never talk about these. You never talk about the tens of thousands of people who have a knot in their stomachs and are anxious when they go to hospital because they hope that they'll be able to make it out. And looking at the conditions of the hospitals in Hungary as well. Simply, you don't deal with those issues. But in recent years, Hungarians do not have a worse standard of living. One of the poorest countries in Europe under the Orban government, because there is some kind of international secret conspiracy. That's not true. It's also not true that it's specific to Hungary. It's because you govern badly, and you govern badly because you don't care about these things, you don't deal with them, so there's no way that you'll be able to govern properly. And obviously this begs the question, should the Prime Minister not make people's everyday lives better? If he's not doing that, what's he actually doing? There's some things that he does deal with very intensively. In the Hungarian Parliament, you can't say this because the Fidesz Speaker of the House takes the floor off you. But what Orban does on a regular basis is how he can sell off our country and European values to the interests of Russian oligarchs. That's where he applies his veto. And then to Putin as well. We have the only country that has increased the number of Russian imports, all funded by Putin. And I am very clear that they do not have any access to the foreign ministry or the intelligence agencies, because that's what's happening in Hungary. We're seeing hacking attacks on our foreign agency. And we are looking forward to the end of this Hungarian presidency, but everybody has one question. So many prime ministers have met with Putin, but none of them have become a loyal servant of Putin. I'd like you to say, everyone's asked this, how are the Russians blackmailing you? Thank you.
I give the floor next to Tamás Deutsch. 1 minute.